Hi everybody, I'm Amy Curtis. I'm the science librarian from Joiner, and I was supposed to come in and give you guys instructions related to upcoming assignments and how to use different library resources. So I'm going to hopefully go over all of my PowerPoint in a short screencast where you'll be able to pause and then replay it and watch at your leisure. And I'll do additional screencasts to give you some demonstrations of how I'm going to search and find these different resources. So when you're searching in the databases, it's a little bit different than what you might type into Google. You really want to think about just the keywords or the main topics that you want to search for. You don't want to type in a full sentence or phrase. Those additional words are just going to mess up the databases, and they don't predict what you want to type in as well as Google does. So searching is really more than just a one and done thing. It's something that you have to think about a little bit. And I would tell you to either physically write out or type up a list of keywords related to your topic. So the main points that you want to research, and then think of additional keywords, additional ways to say that topic, that element. Um, so this might be more general ways to say that, or maybe more specific and jargony terms. They may be synonyms or they may not be. They might just be related but different terms. So I would tell you to either write out a physical column with different keywords and just add to it as you encounter other words in your research, or type up one and just don't don't be discouraged if you don't find anything on your first search. It's more like a scavenger hunt where you're going to want to search a couple different times and add additional keywords as you become aware of them. So this is a pretty simple sample topic just to show you if you're not familiar with picking out your keywords. If this was my topic, I would be looking at smoking and depression and teenagers. So if this was my topic, I would write out different ways to say smoking. So that could be tobacco or nicotine or marijuana or pot or weed or juuling or vaping or e-cigarettes, right? All of those different terms encapsulate smoking. Even though they're not really synonyms, they're all related to that one term. So all of these different things could be used to search for that part of what we're trying to find. For teenagers, for example, in a scientific article, they might be referred to as students. So even though that's not a synonym per se, that might be another term you want to look for. So maybe teenagers or students or young adults or even children. Just think about the different contexts of who might be writing this and why. Depression might equal mental health or sadness or mood. So you don't have to know all of the different ways to say your terms yet, but keep a running list because as you get into research, you're going to find author supplied keywords. So you might get different ideas for different ways to search for your topic. So then you want to think about how to put your keywords together effectively to search. So these are called Boolean operators, and or are going to be the most useful ones. And is going to narrow your search. So that's going to combine all your different elements that you're searching for. So smoking and teenagers. If I search that, I'm only going to get articles about smoking and teenagers. Or it's going to be used to broaden your search. So as you find those additional keywords, you're welcome to add additional ors. So if I did smoking or vaping, it's going to find articles that have to do with smoking, articles that have to do with vaping, and articles that have to do with both smoking and vaping. Or it's very important that you only use in that same column, so that same topic. I wouldn't want to look for smoking or teenagers, for example, because that's not going to give you the information that you want. So if you're visualizing your column, only use or for those similar phrases. So teenagers or young adults or children or students or adolescents or juveniles. And when you do the ors and the ands, really, it's good practice to use parentheses, kind of like a math equation, just to keep them all together so that databases don't get confused about what you're trying to search. You can also use not, but I would say use that sparingly because it might be excluding some good information. Another cool tip just to let you know about that might be helpful is using quotation marks. So multiple words that you want to appear all together as an exact phrase. So for example, smoking cigarettes. If I want to search for that exact phrase, I can put that in quotation marks and it will search for that phrase exactly. If you were looking up the Civil War, you might do quotation marks around Civil War, so it's finding anything to do with Civil War. You don't want to use this for maybe 4 or more words in a row, because if it's not phrased exactly as you wrote it, it's not going to pick it up. It's going to exclude a lot of things that you might want to consider. So just use it sparingly, but it is a good tool to know about. Just to visually show you with the Venn diagrams, OR is going to expand your search, give you more articles and options, and is going to narrow it. And that's what you're going to use to combine the different elements that you're researching. And not will exclude a whole section of your Venn diagram. You may find it to be helpful, maybe not. So just to show you my sample topic here, what I was talking about, you want to think of all the different elements of your research question and add to that. You may or may not have 2 or 3 different columns, and you can always add to that too. So with your particular assignment, you might want to add an additional column for intervention or prevention or therapy or accommodation or treatment or recreational therapy. So any of those terms could be a whole nother column that you want to be searching for. If I'm going with my sample topic in a database, I would type this in exactly like this, just to show you visually a different way. You want to use parentheses to keep all the ors together. So I'm searching for articles to do with smoking or tobacco or both, or nicotine or all 3. So all of that all together, and then narrowing to include the element of depression or sadness or mood, and narrowing to include teenagers or teens or adolescents. So keep track of whatever you're typing in, whatever you're searching. Even if you think you'll remember, it will take you a couple searches at least to find what you want. And it's just better to document what you've already searched up than trying to pretend that you'll remember exactly what you wrote in and being unable to replicate your search results. So you might want to pause really quickly. These are different library resources that I think would be particularly helpful for your upcoming assignment. So Joiner OneSearch is kind of the library's version of Google. It'll pull different articles, databases, all these different sources for you. It's a good place to start. You can probably all find something related to your topics there. As you get more specific and add additional keywords, you might want to look elsewhere as well. PubMed is a great option, and Education Research Complete. Those are both different databases, and I will show you how to access those in an upcoming screencast. I also want to show you really quickly for the end of this video, we have something called a LibGuide. So that's a librarian created research guide just specifically for recreational therapy. So I'll show you how to find that really quick. Sorry, I have a million tabs open. Okay. If you go to library.ecu.edu, just the main library homepage. Okay, if we click on View Research Guides right here, these are all different research guides. Some of them are for specific classes, some of them are just for general subjects. For you guys, for this class, there is one that is Recreation and Leisure Studies and Recreational Therapy. So this is just a good thing to know that it exists. Take some time to explore it yourself. Probably your other classes also have library guides, and they may be course specific depending. But the tabs kind of show you the content on each little section. So these are just related links and databases and search strategies that we found most helpful for this course. So I encourage you to look up these, and if you do need help, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to get it. If you click on the Get Help tab here from the Library Research Guide, you can email me directly with this link here, or as I'm hovering over it, that's my email address. Please feel free to contact me directly if you need more help related to this assignment or any other library related things. I will do my best to assist you or get you in the right direction. So these are other ways that you can interact with the Joiner Library Reference Desk. So now that we're all digital for the rest of the semester, this is a little bit different, but we're still monitoring the chats with the typical reference desk hours. You can still call the research desk too. You can email, so just any of the librarians can answer you there. Another cool thing I want to tell you about really quickly with my last minute is you can book a librarian. So you can either click the link here, or I'm going to show you where to find it just at the main page in case you forget how to get to where I just showed you. So Joiner Library, library.ecu.edu. If you scroll down right here to Ask a Librarian, this is going to give you all these similar options that I just showed you to contact the Joiner Reference Desk. So you're welcome to use these. The Book a Librarian option here is just me or one of the other librarians reserving a 30-minute block of time to assist you. So even though we're all online right now, if you pick a date and a time, so whatever works for you, you're just going to put your name, your ECU email, a little bit of additional information. So we can still do telephone, video conference, or email consultations. So please take advantage of this resource as we want to help you. And you can do that for any of your courses at any point during the semester. Okay, so I'm going to create a couple additional screencasts to show you how to get to the resources that I'm going to mention at the end of my PowerPoint in the next screencast. Thank you guys.